So hello and welcome back. Now in this video we would see the Demat account. Basically the Demat account, or we can say the Demat, is actually the acronym which is used for the dematerialization. Okay, what is dematerialization? Earlier the physical form of the certificate is used, still it is used. Okay, whenever the company issues the shares or the certain securities, bonds and debt securities, at that time the certificate is issued. That physical certificate is with the investor. Okay, now if you will see, this physical certificate is transferred or converted into the electronic form. That process is called the dematerialization. Okay, and for that purpose the account is open. That account is called the Demat account. Okay, so Demat account is primarily used to electronically hold the securities and shares. The concept was first introduced in India in the 1996 and as an alternative to the share certificate, physical certificate. Okay, so a Demat account basically not only makes share trading quick as well as easy, and it is made mandatory if the individual wants to invest in the stock market. So if he would like to trade in the securities, the individual requires to keep the Demat account. So Demat account is opened by an individual for the sake of dematerialization of securities, or we can say for converting the securities into the electronic mode. Okay, now what are the benefits of the Demat account? The first one over there is the safety and security. So as far as the safety and security is concerned, this is basically the theft or the loss which emerge just because of the theft or loss of the share certificate actually is eliminated if the securities are kept in the electronic mode. Okay, so in that sense basically the safety and security is ensured of the securities. The faster and smoother settlement. Earlier it used to take 14 days for the transactions, okay, or the settlement of the trade, but now only within the 2 days the settlement of such type of the transactions is possible. So faster and smoother settlement takes place. Similarly, the reduction in errors, since all these things is done in the online mode. Okay, so just because of the online mode as well as electronically, these errors are quite extent reduced. Earlier in the physical and offline settlement, number of errors occur, and these errors are the errors of trade. Now this type of the errors are reduced to a lot of extent. Similarly, the easy transmission. When transfer of shares basically takes place when we are selling it. Okay, and transmission is basically by way of is basically done to the shares are basically transferred to the legal heirs. Okay, so the transmission of shares is easy. See, when the Demat account is open, the key of the investor's name can also be included, and he can be the nominee. Nominee can be assigned. Once the nominee is assigned, basically see, after the death of the investors, his legal heirs, thus all this investment is transmitted. So easy transmission is possible. Better liquidity and monetization. Since all this thing is in electronic mode, the faster the account is settled, so there is a better liquidity and the monetization is possible. Yields and returns is also more in that case, because of the different types of the assets are also included in such type of the Demat account, like the gold bonds, sovereign bonds. Gold sovereign bonds are also now are also included in the Demat transactions. Similarly, the elimination of odd lot problems is reduced. What is basically the odd lot? When the demat account is there, it has solved the odd lot problem. Earlier, physical shares used to be sold in lots. Okay, now the just because of the dematerialization of securities or the securities which are in the electronic format, so now the single shares can also be sold. Okay, so this elimination of odd lot problem is reduced. Here all type of the securities, maximum type of the securities can be stored in the electronic form. Okay, like the debentures, bonds, exchange traded funds, unit linked insurance policies, all this can also be included in this demat account. Okay, as far as the accounting is done, this electronic mode of transaction has actually reduced quite extent the accounting procedures, and the information is updated. Okay, earlier any change in the address, contact details or nominee details had to be intimated to the multiple companies, but now due to this demat account, individual can simply inform the depository participants and change and such type of the rectification is done in the demat account. Okay, now we will see what are the disadvantages of demat account. So cost is associated with the demat account. Okay, of the opening account, opening of an account. Similarly, the depository participants are there. Okay, so they also charge the commission or the commission for doing the transactions. Similarly, the maintenance charges are there, transaction charges are there. So such type of that cost is involved with the demat account. Okay, sometimes there are the dishonest brokers, and these dishonest brokers actually they also indulge in the proprietary trading, that is they become the counterparty to the client's trade. Similarly, there is a constant portfolio churning. Similarly, for this type of the accounts to be maintained, the person should be technology savvy to how he can handle these electronic mode of securities. So he needs to be some extent technically savvy for handling such type of the accounts. Okay, now there are the certain terms which are used. One is the depository and the depository participants. Okay, what is basically the depository? Depository is actually there are the two types of the depository. One is the National Securities Depository Limited, NSDL, and the other one is the Central Depository Service Limited, CDSL. These two are the depositories where these they are also the depository participants. Who are the depository participants? Depository participants are basically the agents. Okay, who are basically the registered brokers. Okay, and these registered brokers are there in the registered brokers are registered with the depository. Okay, and what is depository? A depository is an institution, an organization which hold the securities of an investors through the depository participants, and also provides the services in relation to these securities. Okay, so these two depositories, in these two depositories, the depository participants or the agents are linked. They are the brokers. Okay, registered brokers, and they handle the all this securities as well as the transactions. So there are two types of the depository. As I said, the National Security Depository Limited is basically promoted by the National Stock Exchanges, National Stock Exchange, not exchanges, sorry, Unit Trust of India and the Industrial Development Bank of India. They actually sponsored, or they sponsored as well as promoted the National Security Depository Limited. Similarly, if we are talking about the CDSL, this is basically promoted by the Bombay Stock Exchange. Similarly, the Bombay Stock Exchange, Bank of India, as well as the State Bank of India. So in these two depository, either of these two depository, the depository participant can be registered, and on behalf of an individual, the depository participants, okay, who is nothing but the agent or the broker who performs the transaction, okay, who is actually linked either of these two type of the depository. So there is also the process which is adopted for the registration of this depository. Okay, here this process is given. I'm just reading out this process, registration process. First one is there: applicant who wishes to be registered as a depository participant with NSDL should submit an application form along with the necessary documents. Okay, so what are the necessary documents? Board resolution authorizing the applicants to become the participant. Okay, similarly, net worth certificate, information about the application in Form A, additional information required by the SEBI if the applicant and subsidiaries of the applicant are registered as a member of the stock exchange or CDSL as a participant, then status reports issued by the stock exchange or CDSL. Okay, similarly, the business history of an applicant and the background details of the experience of the promoter and the directors and the core business areas. Okay, so all these things are required along with the application. So application will be produced before the member committee of the NSDL for approval, and upon approval the application will be forwarded to SEBI for grant of registration as a DP of the NSDL. Okay, the almost similar process is also adopted for the CDSL. Okay, so this is basically the procedure which is used for the registration of a depository participants. Okay, so because of the depository participants, this transaction can be taken place of the electronically. The transaction can be taken place. Now, what are the functions of the depository participant? The first one is there to open the account of the investors, that is the demat account. Similarly, the dematerialization or demat of the securities. The demat process is converting basically the physical certificate of investors into the electronic mode. Okay, equivalent number of the securities in the electronic form. Similarly, the rematerialization can also be done. What is rematerialization? Rematerialization is just the opposite of dematerialization. So if the securities are in demat form and if the individual investor wants it in a physical form, so the conversion of the electronic form of securities into the physical form is actually called the rematerialization of securities. Okay, so the remat process is there. Similarly, the transfer of securities, that is changing the beneficial ownership of the securities, settlement of the trades which are done on the exchange connected to the depository, and pledging and the unpledging of the securities for loan against. Okay, so these are the functions which are performed by the depository participants. Okay, so here we had covered basically these aspects related with the opening of the account, similarly the demat account. Okay, now see, in this particular chapter, one aspect is left out, that is the interest rates. We would see the interest rates on the saving account, interest rates on the fixed deposit account. Okay, and interest rates or how the interest is calculated on the recurring deposit account. That we will see in the next video lecture. Thank you.